Much, much better. I think we used that weekend to learn a lot and take away from that ways to be better. We have executed that. They responded really well afterwards. We've been on a roll since. I think we're playing our best softball right now.
Patty, we've asked you a lot about Sydney Barker lately, but specifically this last weekend, she's been in that third spot a lot in that lineup. Just how did you see her kind of be productive in that role, and what does that do, especially at the top of that lineup?
Yeah, she's been really comfortable at practice. She's been swinging well. You can see her in the cages. She's definitely maturing into a really good hitter and understands strike zone, doesn't try to do too much, but she can take a swing and even mishit it, but hit it hard enough that it'll land somewhere. And there are times she can hit it off the wall or hit it over the wall. So it's really watching her production and feeling like she's putting in maybe some extra work to get there, and we're seeing that.
I wanted to ask you about Gabby. You knew obviously with this newer roster, you're going to need some of your freshmen to step up, and she's obviously been in that starting spot since the beginning. What is it about her that allowed her to have such an impact early for you guys and continue to?
I think coming into the fall, she was very nervous. She was trying really hard. There was a lot of, put some unnecessary expectations on herself. And then she finally kind of let her feet melt into the ground a bit and just loosened up. And I would never anticipate that she would have 18 home runs. I think she's leading our team with bombs right now, which is shocking to me because when I was recruiting her, she was more of she had a little power, but a base hit. She liked to bunt a lot. So this is a wonderful surprise. But she has, again, these guys are coming in, they're getting stronger, and they're learning a lot about hitting and setup and about their body and how their bodies work. And when they put it all together, that's what you can get out of it.
She talked about, told me that the way that she's sort of been freed to play and not, sort of have the pressure of expectation. When I think about the fact that she's a freshman on the team that has won 4 national championships, I'm like, how does that work? So how have you enabled sort of to crack her open to that next level to produce like she has?
I think it's a big part of it is maturity and knowing what your mind is saying to you and how to stop that and flip it, how to calm your body, how to be prepared. Sleep is important, recovery is important. She handles it definitely not like a freshman. She handles it like a pro. She handles it like a mature athlete who wants to be great. And it's hard to find those anymore, and she's definitely figured it out.
Abby, just from facing Riley and Brisky in the circle, what do you remember as far as takeaways from matching up the prep you did the first time and the experience you had versus, I guess, how much more prepared you guys will be this go around to face them a second time?
I think our team went in there with all the knowledge we could have had for the pitchers. I think because it's such a new team and it was early on in our season, we kind of let the emotions get to us. It was our first away crowd that really was a standout. And I think we let those emotions get to us. But, we have all the same information, and we're a different team now. It's completely different. And I'm glad that happened early on in the season because it made us grow, and we're a different team now. So.
And then Abby and Nellie, just following up on that, what do you feel like you learned from that first series against Alabama, and what are some of the specific differences in this team now versus when y'all went down there, a couple months ago?
I think the biggest thing that we took away from that last series was, like she said, the crowd. And I feel like with this team now and being able to experience all that we've had since then, I feel like we have kind of learned to embrace it and kind of just think like we're playing and they're watching, and that's all that really is. And we're just not making the moment too big and not making this game bigger than it is. So I feel like we've grown a lot in that way, and then just trusting what we've been doing and the work that we've been putting in.
I feel the same way, and mainly just how she said embracing the crowd, maybe just kind of being within each other. We have put a lot of stuff with each other, and being able to grind with each other has really helped us, knowing that everyone on the team is going through the same situation, so just being able to build on that. But.
Abby, for you, I know there's still probably a lot of season left, but just what has it meant to you personally to get to come in here and jump in with this group and have the chance to play to go back to OKC?
Yeah, it's been amazing. These girls, best group of girls I've been with, and so being able to be with them on the field is amazing, not just playing softball, but off the field. And, I mean, I'm excited to go back to OKC. We still got a weekend, but we're ready to play, we're ready to fight, and we're ready to get there.
Yeah, Patty, how do you feel Alabama is different from the last time you played them?
I'm sorry,
In what ways do you feel Alabama is different from the last time you played them?
Well, I've known Pat Murphy for quite a while, a long, long time, actually. And he is really, really good at getting his team ready to play. And they're fast, they're aggressive, they have a good staff, and he mixes them up really good. So you got to be ready to flip your script quickly as to who he brings in. They challenge you. They challenge you on the base pass. If you bobble, they're going to score. If you do anything that is not clean, they will make you pay for it. But he is a master of motivation and getting his teams ready to be their best in this type of postseason setting.
Patty, you've obviously had a lot of classic matchups with Alabama over the years. I mean, 2012 Champ Series comes to mind, and Patrick was obviously still there. When you think of all the battles that these two programs have and the rivalry over the years, just what comes to mind when you think about Alabama and specifically Coach Murphy?
I think of big moments where either you're knocking us out or we're knocking you out. We both kind of have done that through, whether it's a super regional or the World Series. I mean, Shay Knighton has walked off a game that I think knocked them out. So we've had that kind of back and forth with each other. But it's two programs. They know how to fight. They're well coached. They come in and they're not going to be afraid coming in here. They're coming in for their lives, and as we are. So it's going to be a classic matchup, and it's going to be hard fought. And at the end, it's going to be a hug for Pat Murphy and vice versa, because I think we're old enough to know that we know how hard this is, and you just appreciate getting better from each other and wish the other team well.
Nellie, Abby, I've got kind of a fun question for you. I think it's fun. When we see you guys get big hits this year, we've sometimes seen what I call the Karate Kid pose. I hear it might have something to do with gymnastics, though. When did that start, and what can you guys tell me about that?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning of the season, we love watching women's sports in general, and we love our gymnastics team. So we would do that little thing for them. And then... I don't know, we just kind of make a joke out of it. I mean, everything's funny. We like to be loose, have fun, just be free. So we've been doing a lot of different celebrations, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, we love women's sports, and gymnastics is one of the top programs here, so we wanted to represent them well.
Patty, I know you and KJ have both talked about each other in your programs, and obviously Jenny's program and on down the list of the women's programs, but what does that mean when the players start to get in the mix of enjoying each other's successes?
It's respect, absolute respect for each other. The day after the women's gymnastics team won, they came onto our field with their trophy and hugged some of our players. They were sitting up in the stands, and fans were, around them. We were rooting for women's basketball. It's just respect for women's sports here and the elite level that we're all trying to play, all of us, not just the ones that you named. It's hard to live in this world of elite sport, and it's hard to maintain it. So there's a different level of respect that we have, knowing the grind that it takes.
Abby, you've been through the postseason wars before. What's impressed you the most about this group being a really young team, but looking like a really veteran team in big moments in the SEC tournament and this past weekend at regionals?
Like you said, we're a young team, and I think something that's really stood out is just how much we've grown since the beginning of the season. This team doesn't feel like we have freshmen and sophomores playing. It feels like it's a veteran team. And so just being able to see these people like Gabby and Sid Barker come up to the plate and being able to do big-time things in big-time situations has been really cool to see. And I feel like I haven't seen a team do that in a while. And so being able to see our younger athletes perform so well in these situations is just so fun for me to see. Like, that's what I enjoy the most about any game.
Patty, when you guys had to play in the rain with Kalani and those guys, I thought it was that game. Well, hold on. I thought that was the game that you started using your voice to help the game grow and not do this anymore. And now they consider not playing on wet conditions and not playing at 3 a.m. and things like that. But that game had some impact. I know it didn't turn out well for you.
Right.
But that game had some impact on the future of the game, didn't it?
Absolutely. So now that it's so far past, we can all agree they won fair and square, right? So there's no hard feelings here. But this was game 3 of a national championship game being played at 10:30 at night and fans sitting with raincoat. I mean, it was like, what are we doing? And I just remember asking, what are we doing? And it was, ESPN won't come back tomorrow, so we got to play it now. ESPN saying, we didn't say that. So I'm not getting a real answer. And, they played it the right way. They embraced it. They played it the right way. For me personally, I was disappointed that if we would have played the next day, it would have been the most watched female softball game ever, and may still hold that because it was such a battle of elite players, elite pitching on both sides. It was tremendous matchup and a tremendous opportunity to bring more fans into the game and to put us in a better position versus a ball slipping out of your hand when you're trying to pitch it. But see, I am not mad. I understand how it works. So I don't lose sleep over this. Everyone is fair and square. But to your point, I appreciate it because back then maybe people didn't think we deserved better. But we absolutely deserve better. And now that would never happen today. It would not. It would not.
Patty, I believe that was the first team that got back to the Champ Series since 2000. Looking back at that team and obviously knowing the decade that's followed, do you kind of look back and think that group of players was kind of the start of what's kind of been the last 10 years?
Yeah, it was interesting because I'll never forget. It was a special group, and I remember after the loss we were together and they're crying, they're hurting so badly. It was really hard to watch. But the next August, when we came back, we didn't really get to talk about it. I mean, when our season's over, they're gone. They're going home. Their scholarship is done, like they're out. And I remember coming back the next year with a lot of returners and sitting with them in our locker room at Marita Hines, and I'm asking them, tell me what you were feeling. What did you feel? And they all started crying again. And so they were really hurting through the summer, but they were absolutely adamant that this is going to be their year. And they knew that from the start. They knew that in August.
Yeah, so I'm here doing kind of a side story, but I wanted to ask the two players about the cheers and stuff that you guys do, which are a lot of fun. I know a lot of people are into them, and it draws a lot of attention to softball. And I wanted to know, how you guys come up with them, and who comes up with them, and how much work goes into preparing them, the things that you guys do in the dugout.
Yeah, I mean, we just like to have fun. We like to be engaging in any way that we can. We like to engage our fans. We have a little joke, get the fans up, stuff like that. But a lot of the cheers we do are ones that we've been doing since travel ball. I don't know, anybody can come up with a cheer at any time and we'll just bring it out on the spot. But we just like to have fun with it and kind of make things up as we go.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it'll just be like someone screaming something and we'll repeat it. But it's just, we're just playing the game, so if something comes to mind, that's what happens. But
Do you guys notice like the responses to it, or do you guys like maybe use the ones that people like maybe the fans see something that they like? Does that affect how often you do one or anything like that?
Yes and no. I mean, some players on the team, we have like specific cheers for them. Maybe like the beat goes better with their name or something like that. But other than that, we just kind of do it to bring ourselves up, bring our energy up, and kind of bring that momentum to the field.
Anything else you guys think?
Thank you.
thank you.
Social media thing on the bus, right?